Do you really need to reply? Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. There's a common trope, if you will, amongst internet or email familiar folks, and that is simply "me too," which is something that we see a lot of in email responses. Email brings out the "me too" in people. You know what I mean? You'll be having a discussion, either one-on-one or more commonly in an exchange on a mailing list or a discussion list with hundreds of participants. And at some juncture, you'll get some what I call completely content-free email from some of the participants. Perhaps we feel the need to let people know we're listening. Perhaps it's the email equivalent of a head nod. The problem is it's otherwise completely content-free. As a result, unlike an actual head nod, it's really difficult to ignore. Someone has to download it, read it, determine its value, if any, and then dispose of it. Do you really need to be that person? Imagine if every real-life head nod forced everyone involved to stop talking, look at you, and decide if your nod meant anything. Even if it only took a second, that would get very annoying very quickly. It's all right for you to take the floor if you have something to say, but if not, ultimately that's my point here. If you have nothing to say, say nothing. It seems simple enough. Before you dash off that next email reply, especially if it's going out to a mailing list, look at it carefully. Are you actually adding value to the conversation? Is it something that your recipients value? Will they want to see it? Do they need to see it? Does everybody on that list need to see it? If not, why are you cluttering up their inboxes and stealing their valuable time? And for that matter, why are you using your valuable time to do it? My personal foible is my need to have the last word. All too often, I reply to an email and thinking, why am I saying this? What's the point? And all too often, the point is that I'm simply, unconsciously, attempting to establish some kind of position in the conversation by making sure I'm the last person with something to say. Yeah, I'm that guy. Unfortunately, the value of what I have to say decreases over time, since at this point I'm simply trying to find things to say rather than saying something that needs to be said. Another very common cause of replying a little too often is the need to correct, clarify, or build on a point that someone else has made. All too often, it's more about showing superiority than it is about clarification. If it's important, fine. But be realistic about what's important. Often, things aren't nearly as important as you think. Now, I'm not saying you should never reply. Obviously, that's what a discussion is all about. It's quite possible that people are expecting you to join in the conversation, reply to a point or a question, correct an error. So if you have something to say it. What I'm asking is that you think twice. Take a second to make sure that when you reply, your reply has a purpose. If not, perhaps you don't need to reply at all. And what's interesting is not only is that perfectly acceptable, it's in your own self-interest. So far, everything we've said has basically been about, I'll just say, respecting other people's time or not annoying the other people on your list. But honestly, it's about you too. This is a very selfish move and in a very good way. And that's simply this. Every email you send invites a reply. The less email you send, the fewer replies you're going to get. If you're trying to tame the amount of email you receive, thinking twice before replying will actually help you get less email. So, if you need a selfish argument for all this, it's this. Replying appropriately or not replying at all will, as a side effect, reduce the amount of email that you have to deal with. Bottom line here is think. That's all I'm saying. Think before you reply. Think before you email. Is your message an original or a reply necessary and helpful, and does everyone on that list really need to see it? If not, maybe don't. For updates, for comments, for links related to this topic and more, visit askleo.com/17876. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.